The morning sun spilled across the fairway like a spotlight, catching the anxious smiles of athletes who were usually much more comfortable under a basketball rim than standing on manicured grass with a golf club in their hands. The crowd murmured with anticipation, cameras clicking as one by one, WNBA players stepped up to tee off. Their swings were awkward, sometimes hesitant, but every miss-hit drew laughter instead of judgment. And Caitlyn Clark watched it all with that familiar mix of amusement and pride. When asked about her teammates' performance, she didn't hesitate. She beamed, saying she was proud of them because stepping into a completely different sport, under public pressure, wasn't easy. But they did it anyway, embracing the moment, making it fun, transforming what could have been a rigid corporate event into something full of personality. But beneath the light-hearted atmosphere, beneath the cheers and casual golf chatter, something enormous had just shifted in the world of women's sports. The LPGA had pulled off what many believe the WNBA should have done months ago. They didn't wait. They saw the opportunity. They understood the moment. And they executed perfectly. Caitlyn Clark, already one of the most influential athletes on the planet, had just secured a massive, multi-million-dollar sponsorship with the LPGA Tour. And the moment it hit the internet, everything exploded. This wasn't some small collaboration. This wasn't a one-off ad or quick social post. This was a full-scale partnership, meticulously planned and strategically timed, built entirely around Clark's image, magnetism, and unmatched star power. It was the kind of crossover deal that forces industries to pay attention. The LPGA understood something the WNBA has struggled with for years. When you have someone who can move markets, you don't hesitate, you strike. And they did it in one swing. Fans went wild, pushing hashtags, sharing clips, celebrating Clark's ever-growing empire. But as always happens when one superstar ascends, someone else feels the drop in spotlight. And this time, that someone was A'ja Wilson. She didn't mention Clark by name. She didn't have to. Her message was sharp, unmistakable. So you can make money playing golf, even if you miss shots. 7 words that sent sports media into overdrive. Suddenly every analyst, every fanbase, every comment thread became battlefield territory. Because once again, Caitlyn Clark's success had stirred up the kind of reaction that only the brightest stars can generate. It didn't help that Clark had been paired with the world's #1 golfer, Nelly Korda, a brilliant move by the LPGA, almost too brilliant, as if they knew making Clark the centerpiece would electrify both fanbases at once. Viewership soared. Social media trended. Even people who had never watched golf suddenly knew Korda's name. All because Clark stepped on the green. That's the kind of influence you can't teach. You can only have it. But for veterans like A'ja Wilson, the moment felt like salt in a wound. She had dominated the league, earned championships, collected MVP trophies. She had done everything an athlete is supposed to do to rise, to shine, to be celebrated. And yet, no matter what she accomplished, Clark's name drowned her out on broadcasts, on highlight pages, in the sponsorship deals that should have been going to the league's established royalty. Wilson wasn't just taking a jab, she was voicing a frustration so many players have quietly held for months. Because for half the league, simply hearing the name Caitlyn Clark feels like stepping into someone else's shadow. Clark is the spark the WNBA desperately needed, but she's also the lightning rod that fractures everything around her. She isn't threatening the old guard, she's overshadowing it. And that is where the tension thrives. Wilson represents legacy, grit, history. Clark represents the future, commerce, the mainstream megaphone. One built the stage, the other fills the seats. But take a step back and look at what actually happened that day. The LPGA Pro-Am event wasn't even supposed to be televised. Not a single camera was planned. Then the requests poured in: emails, messages, demands from fans begging for a live stream, a broadcast, anything to watch Caitlyn Clark swing a golf club. They weren't even asking about the golfers themselves. They wanted Clark. And that kind of demand forces organizations to act. So they did. They aired it. And the moment they did, the internet went nuclear. Clark trended across platforms. The LPGA milked every ounce of attention, plastering her across promotions, clips, reels, interviews. It was a masterclass in marketing. Imagine being A'ja Wilson, watching all of that unfold while preparing for yet another championship run. Imagine knowing that no matter how many points she scored, Clark swinging a golf club, not even well, would draw more headlines. That's not bitterness. That's reality. The modern sports landscape doesn't reward the most dominant, it rewards the most visible. And Caitlyn Clark is visible everywhere. Her rumored $6 to $8 million LPGA contract is a testament to that. Nike reportedly played a major role in orchestrating the crossover, recognizing her as the rare figure who could seamlessly connect basketball and golf, bringing two worlds together in a way no one else could. Corporations live for stories like hers. They see her as the future, the unstoppable content generator, the athlete whose presence alone raises revenue. Meanwhile, Wilson and other veterans battle for bonuses that barely scratch six figures. It's a powder keg. And social media is the spark. When Wilson's tweet went viral, fans didn't hold back. Some called her jealous. Others defended her legacy with passion. But the debate itself revealed something more complicated. Both women are right. Clark is the most marketable athlete in the league. Wilson is one of the best basketball players on earth. But one gets the attention. One gets the contracts. And the imbalance in perception, deserved or not, is tearing at the fabric of the league. The WNBA should be using both. Instead, it often feels like they let the conflict run loose because controversy attracts clicks. Each subtweet, each headline, each viral debate becomes another moment the league trends. But trending isn't the same thing as progressing. And through all of this chaos, Clark stays silent. No clapbacks. No defensive comments. No cryptic tweets. Nothing. Brands adore her for that. While others get caught in online storms, Clark keeps her head down, signs more deals, stacks more opportunities. Her silence becomes strategy. It becomes mystique. It becomes a weapon. It's almost poetic. Because every time someone complains about Clark, they make her even bigger. Still, the LPGA partnership may just be the beginning. Rumors suggest they want to launch a combined exhibition charity event, merging stars from multiple sports. Imagine the tension, the awkward smiles, the forced enthusiasm. Imagine A'ja Wilson standing just feet away from Clark as fans chant Caitlyn's name louder than anyone else's. It would be electrifying. Or disastrous. Or both. Perfect for television. But if you zoom out, this moment is nothing new. When LeBron arrived, the old guard frowned. When Serena exploded into tennis, endorsements flocked to her and left others behind. Fame isn't fair. It never has been. Visibility is a currency of its own, and Clark has more of it than anyone else in women's sports. Wilson's reaction, in many ways, proves Clark's value. Because the more she responds, the stronger the Caitlyn Clark brand becomes. And Clark. She continues to build her empire. Basketball, golf, fashion, tech health, media. She's touching every industry that wants a modern, youthful, massive audience, and each move she makes solidifies her as a once-in-a-generation marketing force. At this rate, a Netflix series isn't a question of if, it's a question of when. But here's the deeper question lurking beneath the highlight reels and sponsorship checks. How long can the WNBA survive this divide? The new generation believes Clark is the reason the league is exploding. The veterans believe she's being handed the throne too easily. The front office watches from the middle, thrilled by the attention but scared of what happens if the tension turns into something real, something irreversible. Because if the WNBA doesn't create a balance, if it can't uplift its stars equally, if it lets the rift deepen, it risks letting its biggest moment become its biggest downfall. A'ja Wilson stands at a crossroads. She can let her frustration define her public image, or she can use this moment, this sudden spotlight, to launch something bigger. A podcast. A national campaign. A personal brand reboot. She has the resume to do it. All she needs is the strategy. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark simply keeps moving. Keeps winning. Keeps climbing. She has redefined the role of the modern athlete. Part competitor, part influencer, part empire builder. And whether you agree with the hype or not, she is reshaping the WNBA in real time. The LPGA deal isn't just another endorsement. It's a symbol of a new era, one where visibility, narrative control, and media dominance are just as valuable as championships. So the question becomes, is Caitlyn Clark simply outperforming everyone off the court, too? Or is Aja Wilson justified in feeling overlooked? Because this story, this shift, this tension, it isn't just about two women. It's about the future of an entire league. And the next chapter could determine whether the WNBA rises together or fractures under the weight of its own growing spotlight.